For me, it is about the law and people.
That is not a legal defense, let me tell you.
And how people can resolve and better themselves.
Justice with passion.
I knew I was going to go into law because I always defended everybody. I was always the one who found a solution and tried to resolve the problem by having people talk to each other.
Justice with truth.
So I'm giving you one more chance to tell me the truth.
This is Justice for All with Judge Cristina Perez. Julius Banning is suing his ex-girlfriend Tricia Krieger in the amount of $539. He claims the defendant smashed his computer screen that resulted in him losing 2 days of work. Ms. Krieger says the plaintiff was careless with where he kept it.
All rise. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Cristina Perez presiding. Please be seated. All parties have been sworn in, Your Honor.
Thank you, Renard. Mr. Banning, you are suing the defendant for $539.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Explain the $539. What's that for?
It is for the repair of my laptop screen and 2 days lost of work.
Okay. How much was the repair of your laptop screen?
It was $239.
Okay, and then the rest was your...
$150 a day, so totaling $300.
Got it. Okay, so tell me, how did she break your laptop?
I invited her over one night after she was out with her friends, clubbing and doing whatever it is she does. And she comes home.
I suppose you guys were dating?
We were, yes. Past tense. Anyway, as I was saying, I invited her over. She had been out with her friends, out drinking, and she stumbles in, inebriated.
Did she knock on the door? Does she have a key to your apartment?
I invited her over, so I let her in.
Oh, I see. So you let her in. Okay.
Yes,
All
I
right,
did.
so then what happens?
So I had been doing work in my bed on my laptop, and I had left it on my bed and went over to my desk to do, I'm a graphic designer, and I was doing some pencil sketches at my desk when she rang the doorbell. And so I let her in. She stumbles in, she's drunk, per usual, and flopped like a dead fish right on top of my bed, onto my laptop screen.
That's so false.
My goodness. Did you tell her to be careful, or did
No, I had
just happened so fast?
no time to react at all.
He invited me over. He sat down in the chair. He has 2 places to sit in his room.
Okay, well, I'm not done. So then she came over and she just barged in. It just happened so fast. You were on the desk.
That's
Did
right.
you remember you left your laptop on the bed?
I remembered as soon as I
Under
heard
the
the
sheet.
crunch.
Got it.
Yeah, I was sitting at the desk, and I have one chair in my room and then the bed, and she
He lives
left
in a
right onto the
studio,
bed.
so it's all like open.
Okay, so you went straight into the bed. Do you remember?
Yes, of course I remember.
Okay,
I went
you
out
were
with my
drunk?
girlfriends. We went to a club. I'm a college student, so I had, tests all week, and I did really well on them. I've been trying to get my grades up. So I went out with my girlfriends. I invited him out to come. He didn't want to. He wanted to stay home because the new cartoon was coming on, and that's what he wanted me to do.
I wanted to spend time with you.
That's great for him. But
Priorities. He wants to watch cartoons. He doesn't want to go drinking.
Exactly.
That's a good alternative.
Good for him, but I wanted to do something else, so I came over after. And when I came inside, he went straight to sit at his desk to draw more naked pictures of women, because that's what he does. And
I do pencil renderings of nude models.
You do naked pictures of women. Let's call it what it is. That's
that
okay.
has nothing to do with anything. So he went back to work.
I went and sat on the bed because there's nowhere else to sit. Where else am I supposed to sit? You invited me over. And when I sat on the bed, he started freaking out. Now, his bed's really high.
You sat on the bed? I think you said he basically said
his bed has a huge box spring.
She comes into my apartment, wants to keep partying. She starts undressing and jumps on my bed.
I know that I jumped, like I pounced on the bed.
Did you hear the crunch?
Yes, and at the time, I even said to him, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, first of all, why did you leave your computer underneath the sheets if you know I'm going to come sit on the bed if you're sitting in the chair? But I did offer.
Does she have other places to sit?
No, he has 2 places in the whole house.
I didn't know she was going to do a Superman dive straight onto my computer.
Is that what she did?
Yes.
The computer wasn't even visible.
Did you remember that computer was there?
I did right after the fact. I didn't have time to deter her from doing it.
So how much did you drink that night?
I had like 3 glasses of wine at dinner, and then
And
I went out dancing with my friends.
And did you drink some more while you were out dancing?
No, I didn't.
Really?
Coming up on Justice for All.
He also slandered my name all
Are you
over
countersuing
the
him?
internet.
Is there a countersuit? I didn't get a record of a countersuit.
I'm not countersuing him, but it's just like he's going
What
out
did he
and
say?
And later,
It's green, it's murky, it's not a good environment for the fish to be
Which,
in.
Your Honor, has nothing to do
And
with
you
my
can't even
turtle.
see-
closed captioning provided by. You're watching Justice for All with Judge Cristina Perez. We're back with the case of Julius Banning, who is suing Trisha Krieger for loss of property.
3 glasses of wine for a little girl is a lot anyway. So then was she, do you believe she was drunk or was she just tipsy?
She was drunk. She's a lightweight, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. So she was drunk. All right. So then what happens? She jumps on the bed. You hear the crunch, and what happens?
I sprung up from my chair and
He started
Threw the
freaking
covers
out.
back.
That's what happened. And I
Okay,
said,
just
oh my
like that.
I
gosh,
didn't
you
freak
left your
out.
computer there. I'm sorry. And at the time, Your Honor, I said, I'm so sorry. I'll pay for it, like, whatever. And you know what he says to me? He goes, baby, don't worry. I would never make you do that.
I didn't
would
say
never
that.
make you do that.
I did not say
And
that. I told you
didn't-
not to worry about it right then and there.
No, you told me don't worry about it. And then the next day, he was talking about going to get his computer fixed, didn't say anything to me. He got his computer fixed within 2 days, did
2
not
days.
ask me to pay for it, went and got it fixed on his own. He didn't even mention this again.
So when did he
until-
ask you for the money?
He didn't. He didn't ask me for the money.
You
Your
said
Honor,
that
I'd like
night
to
that you were gonna
present
pay
you
for it.
with this.
Why didn't you
He
ask
left
her
a
for the
creepy
money?
note on my
She
door.
told me she was going to pay for it.
Okay, but why didn't you ask her for the money after you went to go get the computer?
Because
I
we were
needed
still
to get it
together,
fixed
and he didn't-
immediately.
Okay,
I
did
didn't
you
have
tell
time
her,
to
hey,
wait for
I'm going
her.
over here. This is how much it's going to be. This is the
No.
end.
Well, yeah, after the fact, I figured that she
Not
would
until we
reimburse
broke
me.
up.
her? When did you
Not
tell
until
her?
we broke up, and he was trying to get a hold of me, and I wouldn't answer his text messages, so
Exactly.
he sent me
She's
a
ducking my
weird,
calls.
creepy
She's-
note saying, I've got your love locked down, Julius and Trisha forever, and then the next day I get papers that I need to come to court to pay him.
Okay. All right.
You know, if you wanted the money, I offered it then and there, and you said
Okay,
no.
so you're still going to offer it. You said you pay for it.
I told him that, and then he never asked for it, and he told
Okay,
me
so he's asking for right now. Pay him $239.
He already told me that I didn't need to
He's
worry
asking
about
for it. You broke the computer. You came in drunk into his room. I believe
He's
you
only
jumped on his
asking
computer.
for it because I broke up with him. This is a ploy
Okay,
for
so
him.
you guys are broken up. You've been broken up for how long now?
Your Honor,
How long have you been broken up for?
Couple months.
A few months? Okay. It's over. Some
Yeah, it's
been
been
wise
over.
person once told me when the season's over, the season's over. So the season is over. So you two are done with.
Yeah.
So now he wants $239.
Your Honor,
You broke the
I
computer.
offered
You
it to
came in
him
wasted. You're the
when
drunk
he was
one.
getting it fixed. He told me
Okay,
that he
well,
would take
good.
care of it.
Well, you're
When-
paying
so-
for it today. So what else? Anything else?
Your Honor, he also slandered my name all
Are you
over
countersuing
the
him?
internet.
Is there a countersuit? I didn't get a record of a countersuit.
I'm not countersuing him, but it's just like he's going
What
out
did he
and
say?
he put all of this stuff on my wall, which
Like
my
what?
family sees. This is the only time I didn't want to see your crack on my screen. Laptop definitely broke from your bangin' booty. I didn't say sit on my disk. Our problem in the bedroom is usually software, not the hardware. He said this on my wall in front of everyone. It'd be
It's
cute.
hilarious.
It'd
It
be
was just a
funny
joke.
if it-
Exactly.
Oh my
See?
God, that's
he knows my
I know.
father's gonna see this.
I got
He
like
knows
30
it.
likes on
But
that.
what is the problem? Because it's all true.
He did this.
But it's all true,
He
sweetie.
did this
if you
because
try to
I
act
broke
like
up
an
with
adult
him.
and play in the adult world, you have to suffer the adult consequences.
That's right.
So your daddy got mad because he what? He thought that
Because-
you're hanging out with a boyfriend?
Because I'm a
doing
good kid
improper
and
things?
I've been doing nothing but good things.
Oh,
and
I'm
I've been
not saying you're
trying.
not doing nothing but good things, but
And-
you obviously had a relationship with him.
I had a
sexual
relationship with him, and then
right?
he slanders
so
my
he's
name,
not
and he
saying
brings
anything
me to
that's not
court.
true. This is not slander.
We could have
right.
dealt with this on our
That's
own.
actually pretty funny. Laptop definitely
Thank you.
broken down from your banging booty. That's the truth.
We could have
you.
dealt with this on
mean,
our
that's
own,
the
but he
truth.
chose to take the childish route. He acts like he wants to be an adult, and he wants me to be an adult. But he childishly posts things on my
pointing
wall.
fingers and calling
It's
people
just-
adults. Please, Renard and I, listen, we just don't want to hear who's an adult, who's not an adult. It's pretty clear who the adult is. Based on the evidence, the defendant will reimburse the plaintiff $539 for the broken laptop. And
Thank you, Your
that's
Honor.
it.
Judge Perez has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant is ordered to pay $539.
Well, the judge was right. Maybe you should download some common sense.
I already did. I broke up with you.
Coming up,
I come back and the water is green, it's murky, it's not a good environment for the fish to be
Which,
in.
Your Honor, has nothing to do
And
with
you
my
can't even
turtles
see the
being
fish
in
at all. You can't see the koi.
closed captioning provided by... You're watching Justice for All with Judge Cristina Perez. Jeremiah Sellers is suing his former roommate, William Barber, in the amount of $1,450. He says the defendant's turtles ruined his koi pond. Mr. Barber claims his pets are not to blame because the plaintiff didn't perform proper maintenance.
Mr. Sellers, I understand you are suing your friend and roommate because he damaged your koi pond? Koi fish pond?
I'm selling my roommate for damaging my koi pond.
Okay, so what happened? Tell me.
Well, what happened was we moved in together and I had a nice koi pond.
Your Honor, to clarify, it was not his pond to begin with. It was a communal pond.
Okay, communal pond of the building?
Part of the
It was a
property.
communal pond of the apartment complex,
Okay.
yes.
Did you get permission to put koi fish in there?
I actually did get permission to put
Okay,
koi fish in
from the
there.
landlord?
From the landlord.
Oh.
He decided to bring turtles home.
Okay, why'd you bring
And-
turtles home?
They were part of my frat house. Part of my fraternity.
Were they big turtles, little turtles, baby turtles?
They were
What?
fairly sized. They weren't monsters.
Okay, so you bring home the turtles and what happens?
When I moved in, June 15th, I got everything situated, brought everything in, and brought the aquarium in with my 3 turtles. To which, when he finally came home that day, started flipping out, yelling at me, saying that they can't be there.
Why couldn't they be there?
Apparently, there was a clause that stated that I couldn't have them in the apartment that I overlooked when I signed the lease.
Yes,
You mean
we
pets?
weren't-
Like you couldn't have pets?
Yes.
We weren't allowed to have pets in the apartment,
Okay,
no.
so then did you speak to your landlord?
I did not.
Okay, so so you knew you couldn't have pets in the apartment.
Right.
So what did you do? Mr.
So what
Barber?
I asked of my roommate is to give me by the end of the month. That way I can find a good home for them to be relocated to.
Okay, so then basically you asked Mr. Sellers not to tell the landlord anything, just to keep it hush-hush until you found what to do with the turtles.
Never directly, but that was my intention,
Okay, so
yes.
that was your understanding. You're going to give him a couple weeks, and then he's going to figure you're not going to say anything, because obviously you guys could be fined, I would imagine.
Well, yeah, I would give him until the end of the month, so until June 30th.
To find out
get
what to
rid of
do with the turtles.
get rid
All
of
right,
the
so then
turtles.
what'd you do with the turtles, Mr. Barber?
I relocated them to the pond. And this was also the same day that he left for 2 months.
So on the same day he leaves,
Yes,
you move the turtles into the koi pond?
that's correct.
Why'd you do that?
Because I was told by him to get them out of the apartment, and I promised him I would get them out of the apartment,
I believe
which
you
is
did it
what
out
I
of
did.
spite.
Yeah, of course. But
Absolutely.
You technically got them out of the apartment. Now, did you research and find out if it was okay to have a turtle with koi?
I did not. I've seen them together before.
Are
And I
they,
didn't
the
think anything
turtles
of it.
bigger? Because either if the turtles are big and the koi are little, it's food for the turtles, or vice versa.
Which, that was never the problem. That was never a part
They
of the
got along
problem.
like little friends? No
Absolutely.
problem. Really?
In those 2 months that he was gone, I fed the
So
fish,
you
I
were
fed the
gone
turtles.
I was gone for 2 months because I was visiting family in the East, yes.
No way. So gone for 2 months. Okay, and what happened? Did it start getting really dirty or what?
After about 2.5 weeks.
And he never called.
After
Okay.
about 2.5 weeks of my turtles being introduced to that pond, that's when it started getting a little murky and a little
I could
green.
imagine. Did you ask what kind of filtration system he had for the koi?
I did not.
Did you logically think, I might have to get a bigger filter?
No, I was not taking care of that part. That was all of
You
his
didn't.
doing.
How many turtles did you put in the koi pond?
3 of them.
And how big was this koi pond?
The pond was about probably 20 to 30 gallons of water big, that big.
Well, that's pretty sizable.
Sizable, yeah.
Well, that is, okay. And then, but you never thought about calling the landlord to see if that was okay?
No.
Oh, you know he got specific permission to put the koi in the pond?
Right.
Nothing. You just put the turtles in there and walked away?
Absolutely.
Okay. And so then what happened?
I come back and the water is green, it's murky, it's not a good environment for the fish to be
Which,
in.
Your Honor, has nothing to do
And
with
you
my
can't even
turtles
see the
being
fish
in
at
them.
all.
But they were all still there and all very much alive.
They were alive, but they
Thank
might as well
God
have been
for
dead.
that. Thank
Thank
God
you.
for that. So
Okay.
then you came home and you were shocked, and what did you do?
I confronted him.
And what'd you say?
Coming up,
So it's the turtles. So then if the turtles were the ones that damaged something, why didn't you go to the landlord or have the landlord sue your roommate?
Closed captioning provided by. You're watching Justice for All with Judge Cristina Perez. We're back with the case of Jeremiah Sellers, who is suing William Barber for property damage.
So, Mr. Sellers, after you spent $1,400 on a new filter, the koi pond is still not clean.
Yes.
Yes, it's clean, or no, it's not clean?
No, it is not.
Okay.
clean.
Again, so you said you got permission from your landlord to do this. Do you have any proof of this?
Well, I have his word of mouth.
Okay, did you think about getting a letter from him? Did you think of bringing him to court so he can justify this? Because the thing I'm having a very hard time accepting is that somebody would spend so much money on a property that is not theirs. You spent almost close to $4,000 on a koi pond that I understand they're your fish, but it's not your koi pond, and so you are actually giving away $4,000 to your landlord. So it's so unrealistic. I'm having a hard time understanding, why do I have to benefit you when it's actually not your property? And I don't know if you actually have a right to do that. I don't understand. So I don't have anything to say yes or no. I believe you bought a new filter, but I don't see the koi pond getting any better, the water filtration system. So you got to help me out here. I'm at a loss.
I'm a pharmacy student, and I have a 2-year program, and the pond really helps me relax.
That's
so
fantastic that it helps you relax. I do a lot of different things that help me relax. I take a hot shower, I watch the news, I just sit there and do nothing, I meditate, I veg out, I do a lot of different things, but no way am I going to almost really throw away $4,000 on a pond that is not mine.
But it was the turtles that ruined the pond.
So that's another thing. So it's the turtles. So then if the turtles were the ones that damaged something, why didn't you go to the landlord or have the landlord sue your roommate?
Judge Perez's verdict when Justice for All returns. Promotional consideration provided by.
Well, you're suing the wrong person, and I really don't think there's even a claim, because I don't even know if you had a right to put the koi pond there. And don't shake your head. I mean, come on. You guys are grown-ups. You're supposed to be grown-ups. You just graduated from college. This is really such a stupid case that you're telling me you're coming here suing because my friend ruined my koi pond because he's a frat dude and he put his old turtles in there. That's ridiculous. I mean, you guys are grown-ups. You should be able to figure this out and not sue over $1,400. Why did you spend so much money on a koi pond that's not yours?
Well,
why were you dumb enough to, after he told you no pets, go sneaky and put the turtles in the koi pond when you knew you weren't supposed to do that? And you thought, oh, gee, they're technically out of the house, so I complied with the landlord's wishes. Makes no sense to me, all right? Next time you sue somebody, have a valid claim, have evidence to support your claim, give me something to work with. That's why we waste people time, and that's why there's so much backlog in the court system, because people like you that do not think. I'm denying your claim.
Judge Perez has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim is denied.
Basically, we're going to have to go home and work this out.
I'll do my part and I'll take the turtles out. I'm sorry.
This has been a production of Entertainment Studios.
For me, it is about the law and people.
That is not a legal defense, let me tell you.
And how people can resolve and better themselves.
Justice with passion.
I knew I was going to go into law because I always defended everybody. I was always the one who found a solution and tried to resolve the problem by having people talk to each other.
Justice with truth.
So I'm giving you one more chance to tell me the truth.
This is Justice for All with Judge Cristina Perez. Pastor Clarington is suing Wendla Walker in the amount of $290. Pastor Clarington claims Ms. Walker took money, goods, and services from his church, but believes it was all part of a scam. Ms. Walker admits that she did accept charity from the church, but she's since repaid the gift with physical and financial support to the church.
All rise. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Cristina Perez presiding. Please be seated. All parties have been sworn in, Your Honor.
Thank you. Pastor Clarington, I understand that the defendant is a member of your church. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. And it hurts me to be here in this court today because I do not like to accuse any of my flock of bad debts.
Okay. All right. Explain to me what happened.
Basically, Your Honor, I have been doing this ministry for the past 15 years, been in this as a teenager. And I went from a humble storefront ministry when I was starting out after I was ordained, after going to college, to a ministry that has over 300 members in it, and 100 of them are paid members, are active members. And because of these members, we have been able to raise our little storefront ministry from there to a very nice facility, 2.5 acres. We have not only a place to congregate for church, but also a daycare. And once we opened that facility, we started getting an influx of needy, and that is where we encountered Sister Walker and her 2 sons.
Okay.
And we offered, once she came into our flock, a bit of help because she seemed to be down on her luck. She was jobless. She was staying with someone that was not going to last, not permanent. She needed a better place to stay.
And did she confide in you? Did Ms. Walker confide in you and explain her situation?
Sister Walker confided in Sister Barbara at first, and then she arranged it where I met with Sister Barbara, and we discussed how we could help her.
Why don't you go ahead, Ms. Thomas, and stand. So what do you do for Pastor Clarington's church?
I'm the church secretary.
You're the church secretary?
Yes.
And when a member of the church has a problem or a new member, do they always approach you? Or
No, this is an unusual situation. We have a soup kitchen on Wednesdays, and she was there. So I went over, I spoke with her. She was very sweet, opened up a conversation with her, and I found out that the need was great. It was great, and it was something that maybe Pastor would like to hear about. So
what was the need? Why was the need
she mentioned that she didn't have her husband any longer to support her, that she was new in town, she was staying somewhere that she couldn't stay, and that she didn't even have, the necessities of food. That's why she was there. And her car needed repairs. So all of that just sounded like, to me, a prescription for a really bad situation.
Okay. So, Ms. Walker, you were new to the area?
Correct.
Okay. And you were in a dire situation. Why don't you explain what was happening with you?
I was out of the job at the moment. I had just moved to this area. I was new, and I reached out to a church in the community.
So how did you hear of the plaintiff's church congregation?
Well, there were flyers posted around the entire city. I just picked one off, one of the flyers off, and I just proceeded to go to the soup kitchen. They were offering free meals. So I went. They offered me a meal for me and my children. I'm kind of surprised they're not billing me for that. I went there. I met Sister Barbara. She approached me very nicely, as a churchgoer should. I felt welcome, and I wanted to become a member of their church. She told me if I needed some kind of help, that if I became a member, that they would help me. So the following week, I think it was on a Tuesday, I initiated a meeting with the pastor and her as well. They went over some guidelines about, as you become a member, the things that they expected of you. And
what did they expect from you?
If they were to help me in any way, in my own time, in my own manner, to give back to the church.
Okay, and how long were you a member of the church?
I was only a member for about 9 months.
9 months, okay. And did things get better for you during those 9 months? You found a job, I understand, a place to live?
Yes, everything got better. Everything did.
And who helped you find a job, a place to live?
They offered the money for a security deposit, they had references of a housing authority that helped out with housing needs.
And how do you pick, Pastor Clarington, the people or the members of your congregation that need money?
Once a recommendation comes from one of the church board members, say Sister Barbara here, when she brought up Sister Walker, we have a discussion among the members. We have 10 board members, and we decide then and there who do we help and
so
who
how
do we
much
not.
money did you give her for the down payment of the apartment?
We gave her $150 for the down payment of the apartment.
Coming up on Justice for All.
Actually, Pastor had the opportunity of seeing her win $1,000 at another church. It's bingo.
You won $1,000?
I did.
And later,
What kind of injuries did you sustain, Mr. Weaver?
I got second-degree burns all over my face, neck, and my hands got second-degree burns as well.
closed captioning provided by. If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching Justice for All with Judge Cristina Perez. We're back with the case of Pastor Clarington, who is suing Wendla Walker for bad debts.
When you give the charity, you don't expect anything in return, just them to be valuable members of the congregation.
Your Honor, we are a church, but we also are a business. We ask our members when we give this money. It is a bridge loan. It is money that we do expect not right away. We give them a chance to pay what they can when they can.
Do you put that in writing?
In writing, yes, we do.
Do you have anything to show me?
Yes, we do, Your Honor.
Okay. So it's almost like you are facilitating loans to those in need until they get their life in order, get a job, get a stable, and they can start paying back as slowly as they can?
Yes,
or?
we are not loan sharks, Your Honor. That is not what we are about. We are about helping the members of our community. But in this particular case, there was a problem.
Okay, so what else happened then? Why are we suing for $290 then?
The $290 figure comes from $150 for the down payment for the house, and we also gave her $20 to pay a handyman that was also in our congregation to fix a flat tire for her. The other $120 comes from the amount that we determined, which was 10% of the amount that she would have owed if she actually paid for any of the child care services that are rendered by our church. We are not in the habit of letting everybody just do it, bring their children for free. We have to maintain a financial amount to keep that going. In her case, we asked her again, once again, pay what you can when you can, just like with the loan. 3 months.
So babysitting is $10 a day per child?
Yes.
Per child.
Yes, and we go by need. Sometimes we lessen the amount, sometimes we keep it as is, sometimes we allow them for free at the onset of their membership, as long as they truly are working to better themselves. Now, when we discovered that she was going to another church, and she actually asked another pastor for money, for help, the same way she came to us, we determined that we might have been scammed.
Actually, Pastor had the opportunity of seeing her win $1,000 at another church. It's bingo.
You won $1,000?
I did.
What luck? Where?
It was just a different church that a friend of mine offered me to go with her to bingo night. So I went, and out of luck, I won $1,000.
So you realized when you signed the contract for the babysitting contract that you had to pay $10 a day?
I did understand that.
And did you ever pay any of the babysitting money back?
I did not. I did not get a chance to do that.
You won $1,000 at the bingo. Did it occur to you to pay back the $150 for the apartment and the $120 that you owed for the babysitting?
No, I did not
Why
cross
not?
my mind to pay it back.
Why
I've
not?
seen this as charity.
Based on the evidence, I feel that the defendant, it's my opinion that the defendant
knew when she borrowed the $150 and when she enlisted the services, the babysitting services of the church, that she had to pay that back and has not done so. So based on that, I agree with you, Pastor Clariton, that she has to pay the $270. Now, the $20 mechanic, you know, we'll just give that to her. Okay. It is what it is, okay? But they had to pay babysitters to take care of your children. They had to take money from the church account to give you the, even though it might not be a lot of money to some people, $150, it's a lot of money, especially for a church that supports itself, okay?
I understand.
So please reimburse the church $270, and I hope you guys could talk to each other and become better acquainted, better members. Any misunderstanding, start from scratch, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Judge Perez has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant is ordered to pay $270.
My heart continues to hurt over this situation, but like the judge said, it is a matter of principle.
I hope you come back to our church.
As the judge said, I will pay back my debt, but I will not be attending your church again.
Coming up on Justice for All.
What kind of injuries did you sustain, Mr. Weaver?
I got second-degree burns all over my face, neck, and my hands got second-degree burns as well.
Closed captioning provided by... You're watching Justice for All with Judge Cristina Perez. Josh Weaver is suing Mustafa Ahmed in the amount of $950. Mr. Weaver claims the product that Mr. Ahmed tried to sell him exploded in his face and caused severe burns. Mr. Ahmed claims the plaintiff should have read the sign that specifically states not to use any of the products without the assistance of a kiosk employee.
Mr. Weaver, I understand you were burned by a vape pen?
Yes,
What
that is
happened?
correct. Well, back in December, it was my birthday, and I was wanting to get one of those vapes. My friends were all doing them, and I tried them out, and they were pretty cool, so I was like, it's my time to get one. I'm finally 18. So I head to the mall, and I go to Mr. Ahmed's kiosk that he owns, and I was checking out some of the vapes, and I went up to him, and I was like, hey, can you help me out with one of these? I think I know what I want. And he's like, give me 5 minutes. He was with a customer, so I was like, okay, yeah, sure, 5 minutes. Well, 5 minutes came around, and I went back up to him. I was like, hey, can you help me out now? Like you said, you're going to help me out in 5 minutes. What's going on? So he's like, 5 more minutes, man. So I was like, okay.
Were you with the same customer, Mr. Ahmed?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So you saw that he was with the same customer. Why don't you leave and go shopping and then come back?
Because I was only there to just pick up a vape pen and
Okay.
leave.
Anyway, go ahead. So then he's still busy with a customer.
Yeah, so I go back over to the pen that I want. I pick it up, and like it's a little warm, but I thought everything was all fine, so I take out the tank, and then the next thing you know, the thing explodes on me. And now my face is all burning up. I'm screaming for help, like, help, help, help. And he comes over, and he's worried about his sign. Like, didn't you read the sign? I'm like, what sign? Can you please just help me out here?
Have you ever used a vape pen before?
Yeah.
You've borrowed from friends?
Yeah, just
or?
from friends and everything.
Okay. And was this model one that you had used before?
Yeah, it's the model that I wanted, but I haven't used it before.
Okay.
Coming up,
What kind of injuries did you sustain, Mr. Weaver?
I got second-degree burns all over my face, neck, and my hands got second-degree burns as well.
closed captioning provided by... You're watching Justice for All with Judge Cristina Perez. We're back with the case of Josh Weaver, who is suing Mustafa Ahmed for $950.
All right, so is it normal for a vape pen to feel warm and to
No,
blow
actually, this is the first time I had the kiosk for a little bit over 8 months. And before the incident with Mr. Josh, I had no problems. Actually, the product that caused this incident, it was a high-selling product in my kiosk, and I had no issue. Ever since the incident that happened with Mr. Josh, I notified the manufacturers about the defect because I wasn't well aware of it. So I was after that incident, I spoke with the manufacturers, told them about it, and I took it out of the kiosk so it won't cause any more damages.
Okay, so then you had sold that vape pen before
Yes.
without any problems.
I had no problem.
And this time, what happened?
I'll be honest with you, ma'am. Before I put things on my kiosk, I usually inspect them, and everything seemed perfect to me. I had no problems. Actually, I had a lot of guests who would recommend their friends to buy the vape pen from
Okay.
me. There's a sign, actually, I even posted it next to the vape pen so that, people will be well aware of it, because prior to that incident, I had a lot of people come in and touch my vape pens, would mess around with it and so forth.
Of course, I mean, it's your business.
Yeah, and I had problems
rules
with
are
it.
the rules. Did you read the sign?
No, I did not read the sign.
You didn't read the
Actually,
sign?
I have
I
an evidence here.
passed by it. Like,
Okay. Can I see his evidence? But just naturally, I mean, I'm sure your parents taught you don't touch something that's not yours. Did somebody teach
As you
you
can
that?
see, I have.
Oh my goodness, come on, Mr. Weaver. Here's his vape pens. It's a very fancy little kiosk, Mr.
right there,
Ahmed.
right there, ma'am.
It says, do not touch products without the assistance of the employee.
I wasn't looking around wanting to read anything. I was just wanting to get in and out. And
Okay,
Was
life
it only-
doesn't work on your schedule. So you're impatient, you grab the vape pen, you feel that it's hot, and you try to, what do you do with it?
well, I took the tank off to see what was under it.
Is that something that you're supposed to do?
No. You're supposed to take the tank off if you're going to put the
liquid in it.
liquid in it.
Okay, so the tank was empty. So
Yes.
you're just taking it off
Yes.
to make sure.
I was just looking at the battery, looking at the tank,
All right,
wondering
so
how it unscrews and
did
screws
you
on.
notice, Mr. Ahmed, that the vape pen exploded, as he said?
I noticed it when it did explode, but I wasn't well aware of it. I went to him to assist him. I was kind of frustrated because I warned him before that incident. I told him about it, so I went to help him out. I even told him, please just sit down where you're at. I'm going to call mall security.
You did not try and help me out. You were more worried about your sign than helping me out.
I called mall security to get some assistance.
After 5 more minutes.
I would have been pretty annoyed too, but that's just me. Okay, so then they come, you went to the hospital. What kind of injuries did you sustain, Mr. Weaver?
I got second-degree burns all over my face, neck, and my hands got second-degree burns as well.
Judge Perez's verdict when Justice for All returns. Promotional consideration provided by.
From what I gather and the evidence Mr. Ahmed has submitted, the vape pen was recalled by the company, the manufacturer, because it was defective. Okay, so technically he has no liability because he was just a retailer. That's it. So based on the evidence, I will deny your claim, Mr. Weaver, as I find that Mr. Ahmed had no liability since he was just the retailer, and based on the evidence, since the vape pen was recalled as defective, your claim lies with that manufacturer of the vape pen. Okay? Good luck.
Judge Perez has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been denied.
I'm sorry you got hurt, but you have to be more patient, and please don't touch next time.
Okay, well, I'm going to go see the manufacturer now.
This has been a production of Entertainment Studio.